Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is TWiT. Bandwidth for Before You Buy is brought to you by Cachefly at CACHEFLY.com. Before You Buy is brought to you by Netflix. Watch thousands of TV episodes and movies on your PC, Mac, iPad, iPhone, or TV instantly. All streamed directly to you, saving you time, money, and hassle. For your free 30-day trial, go to netflix.com/twit. Hello, Laporte here. It's time for our product review show, Before You Buy, in which we get the entire staff to take a look at different products and review them for you. We got some great reviews coming up. Tony Wang, who edits many of our shows and has been one of the, I think he's one of our earliest employees, has been with us since almost the beginning, is a major camera buff. He loves shooting pictures with his Canon. You'll see him going around with his wide-angle lens, taking pictures of people. We thought we'd give him a look at a new category of camera, the mirrorless SLR. It's not really an SLR, but it's interchangeable lenses. It's not an SLR because it's a mirrorless. We gave Tony the one that you've probably seen a lot of ads for. This is the one with Ashton Kutcher coming out of a Canon, right? The Nikon J1, the Nikon 1. Let's take a look.
Yo, this is Tony Wang from TWiT.tv, and today I got something pretty cool for you guys. Today I'm reviewing the Nikon 1 series, Nikon J1, so let's go for a little photo walk. So I'm here with the Nikon J1, and it is a little brother of the Nikon V1, and the biggest difference between the two bodies is that this one has a pop-up flash, and also it doesn't have the hot shoe attachment for your accessories, and also it's missing the digital viewfinder. So if you're used to holding your camera up on your face while you're taking a picture, you have to change the way you take pictures. You gotta go like this. So the price point is a little steep at $650 starting at. You could get it with additional lenses. My kit came with the 10-30 and as well as a telephoto lens at 30-110. My favorite lens for the Nikon J1 is actually the pancake lens here, 10mm. But you do have to remember that because the sensor is smaller than Micro Four Thirds, that you're looking at 2.7 times the focal length, so it's really 27mm instead of 10. And as you already know, this is Nikon's newest interchangeable mounting system. Is called the CX mount. You could get a Nikon branded adapter ring for this, so you could use all your Nikon glass if you have a collection of it already. So let's go take some pictures. Let's go into the parking garage and test the low light capability of this camera. I don't know why I'm whispering. If you probably noticed that there's no shutter sound on this camera, unlike the Panasonics and the Olympus, because we don't have a physical shutter on here. It is electronic shutter, so I have decided to turn off my shutter beeping sound because it makes street photography much easier since nobody knows I'm taking pictures. I'm gonna go ahead and change the lens and test out the 10-30. So one thing good about this is it actually, once you unlock the lens, the camera turns on. So now you can see. Unfortunately, once you lock it, it doesn't turn off. So, oh, there's a pigeon. Let's go take a picture of the pigeon. Oh, that was not fast enough. So even though Nikon is touting very, very fast autofocus, not fast enough for a flying pigeon. Although it is faster with the pancake lens. That's another reason why I like the 10mm. Pigeons? No pigeons. Where are the pigeons when you need them? I don't get it. Like I park my car here, they on my car, and there's no pigeon now when I want to take pictures of them. Ah, here's a pigeon. Cachefly. So now that we're out of the garage, I'm going to go ahead and put on our telephoto lens and give that a try. Look at how far this goes. So here we are at the old TWiT cottage. I'm going to test out my zoom lens here and take a few shots. Really get in there with this lens since it's effectively over 200 millimeter here. So we're outside Acre Coffee, which is TWiT's favorite coffee shop, and I'm gonna take some pictures. They have really cool stuff in here. So I'm shooting with continuous shutter right now, so you can see if I hold down. There we go, it just took like 10 pictures. The camera does come in white, red, silver, pink, and black. Cool, let me take a picture. So the face detection, I mean, if you're not moving too fast, it does a really good job. A beautiful brick. Look at that brick. Let's do this. Let's play this. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it thought that was that right there is not a face. The face detection was a little confused. So I've spent about 2 weeks with this camera over the holidays, and the pros are this is very easy to carry. I can fit this and 2 lenses all in my pocket if I wanted to. One thing I didn't mention earlier was the video recording mode that you can get with this camera, which does 400 frames per second. That sounds amazing. It even has a super fast frame rate of 1200 frames per second, but the resolution is so low, you can't really even tell what you're shooting. For me, personally, the price point is a little bit too high, so I wouldn't really consider this camera if I'm looking for a point and shoot or a micro four thirds. And I would actually go with a Panasonic or even an Olympus. Nikon, this is smaller than a micro four thirds. We don't want to go smaller than a micro four thirds. I'm Tony Wang for TWiT.tv, and this is a Nikon J1.
They call that this camera evil. It's an electronic viewfinder instead of a digital through the lens. It's electronic viewfinder, interchangeable lens camera. And you're going to see a lot more of these mirrorless cameras with interchangeable lenses. It's kind of a compromise between a point and shoot, and it is a bigger sensor than a point and shoot, and a digital SLR, which is bigger, bulkier, but does give you better pictures. I think that is a high price point. I have to agree with Tony. But you saw he got some great images, and it just shows you it's the photographer, not the camera. So there you go, the Nikon 1 series. You're seeing a lot of advertisements for it, and I think I'd agree with Tony. If you're going to spend that kind of money, get a micro four thirds system. You'll have more lenses to choose from instead of the proprietary Nikon mount. Now, we may remember last time I panned the Galaxy Nexus, which was Verizon's 4G entry into the Android marketplace, their top-of-the-line phone. It really was designed to kind of follow on this. This is, look how thin that is. They call that the RAZR. Jason Howell has his review. Jason?
Hey, what's up? I'm Jason Howell from TWiT.tv, and I am here with the Motorola Droid RAZR. It's a dual-core 1.2 gigahertz TI OMAP 4430 processor. Has 1 gig of RAM. It's a 4G LTE phone, so it's got really fast data speeds. It's a 4.3-inch QHD display, 960 by 540, so the resolution is pretty reasonable. As you can see, it's thin. It's definitely one of the thinnest phones that I think I've ever used. It has an 8-megapixel rear camera on the back with an LED flash. It also has a front-facing camera. And finally, you've got some nice little ports here. We've got a micro SD card slot in there, and on the top you have your micro USB and HDMI. First off, let's just start with design. As I said, it's incredibly thin and light. It's actually 7.1 millimeters thin at its thinnest point. But I should say, as a cautionary tale, this thinness comes with a risk. A friend of mine who bought this phone, he keeps the phone in his pocket, as a lot of people do. He went and hopped into his truck, and next time he pulled it out, the screen underneath the Gorilla Glass was actually cracked. So keep that in mind. Though it's thin, and that's a nice thing, it could also be its downfall. Just be careful with it. The screen is a Super AMOLED pentile screen. That's important to know because pentile is actually a technology that, if you look really closely at it, it can kind of show a little bit of weakness. You can kind of see that pixels are shared in between lines above and below those pentile dots, and as a result, kind of fine lines in fonts, the really small fonts, grayscale images, that sort of thing, can kind of show those edges. And so to my eyes, I definitely see it on this phone. Probably a good idea for you to check it out yourself and see what you think about that. Camera performance was better than I'm used to seeing from Motorola. I've never been too fond of Motorola cameras and their performance just in speed of taking a picture as well as the quality of the pictures. But I actually really liked the camera on this phone a lot more than I expected to. Here, I'm going to use our camera person, Jeff Stewart, to focus on here. Autofocus, picture, picture, picture. It's pretty rapid, and that's kind of what I'm looking for when I want a good camera phone, to be able to kind of take those pictures in rapid succession. It's good quality pictures, if well lit, HD video on the front as well as the back, so you can take full HD videos with either side. I definitely made a reasonable amount of calls with the phone, and I'd say the call quality was crystal clear on my end as well as the recipient's end. One thing about Motorola's version of the Android OS is, of course, what they used to call blur. I guess they don't call it that anymore. I don't even think it has a name quite yet, but it's still kind of the blur that you may have used with slight modifications. I would say that overall, you get that feeling that Moto Blur is kind of slowing things down. One thing that they do include on here, however, that is extremely handy is something called Smart Actions. It's basically an easier to use, prettier looking tasker. And what that means is you can set up conditions. So as you can see right here, I have a charging condition. If I open that up, I've set it so that when I'm charging, display timeout never happens. And I like that because when I'm in the car, when I plug it into the car dock, it keeps the display on and never turns it off. It's very versatile and really easy to program, so I was very surprised and happy to play around with that. Overall, I'd say the performance was great with this. Minus the slowdowns of Moto Blur, games played without a hiccup and pretty fluidly, and no slowdown on those. Switching apps was pretty snappy. Now onto the battery, which could be a sticking point for some people because the phone, in order to achieve its incredible thinness, has a non-removable battery. The battery sits behind this Kevlar backing, which is actually, by the way, pretty nice for keeping the phone sliding out of your hands for the most part. But you can't take this case off. You're pretty much stuck with the battery that you have. Thankfully, I got pretty good battery life out of this phone. Just a few random other pieces of information to know about it. It has a locked bootloader. And Ice Cream Sandwich, though it doesn't ship with the phone, Motorola has come out and said that it will be released sometime in 2012. So one final thing about the Motorola RAZR is something called WebTop. This is Motorola's kind of approach to allowing you to use your Motorola phone, newer Motorola phones, in ways that you might use a desktop computer. And one way that actually enables that right here is the Lapdock 100. It's an expensive piece of gear. It's $249.99. But as you can see, it's like a laptop, and it's a shell with a built-in battery. So if I plug in my Motorola RAZR in the back, the display will turn on and it'll kind of boot into WebTop mode. And this just basically allows you to use the power of your Motorola RAZR or newer Motorola phones in a much larger format. I will say one thing though, and if you haven't noticed by looking at the device, you'll see it's pretty small. Obviously it's by design because they want this to be portable. The keys are just too small for my big fat fingers, and the little touchpad down there, it's very easy for me to touch the wrong thing. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily made me more efficient in testing it out. And then aside from that, you've got your typical car mount, which I actually really liked a lot. I use this all the time. And this is the HD station. It's $99.99, and it essentially replicates a lot of the functionality of the Lapdoc 100, but in a more compact base unit, so you can plug in your own accessories with the USB on back. I guess I'll just go ahead and say pros, the things that I really like about this: incredibly light and thin. It's impressive camera performance, and it's pretty snappy and responsive. The cons, like I said, with the display, the pen-tile technology, you either see the rigidness of it or not. Non-removable battery, for sure. And as I said also, its svelteness might also be its downfall if you're not too careful. But overall, I really enjoyed playing around with the Motorola RAZR. I enjoyed it way more than I think I expected I would, so it is absolutely recommended. For me, I would say buy it. Go to a Verizon store and check it out, and I think you might walk out with it. I'm Jason Howell with TWiT.tv. Thanks for watching.
What Jason didn't mention, he's also the host of All About Android and knows a little bit about Android phones. It is a beautiful, thin phone. I agree with him, though. I'm not crazy about the pen-tile displays. That was, if you remember, one of the things I didn't like about the Galaxy Nexus either. I'm going to, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to review one other Android phone that you might want to take a look at Verizon. It's the HTC Resound. In my opinion, I'll tease this. This is the phone you want to get if you're a Verizon customer and you want to go with Android. But you'll just have to wait for my full review in a couple of weeks. That's mean. That's mean. All right, coming up, we've got some quickie reviews from Colin Weir, our streaming engineer. He's got an HTC phone he'd like to show you. Tom Merritt of TNT is going to take a look at this. I'll just have to let him explain what this Pebble does. And Jason will be back with a review of a tablet, an Android tablet. But before we do that, I'd like to remind you that this show is brought to you by our good friend. Oh, and I have headphone reviews too, by the way. By our good friends at Netflix. For streaming video at home, whether you're on a Roku, a PlayStation 3, a Nintendo Wii, an iPad, iPhone, an Android phone, or your computers, there is no better deal in the world than Netflix streaming. $7.99, and they're a month. And there are thousands of titles to choose from. I'm having so much fun. I know, actually, Jason and others are doing this as well, watching Friday Night Lights, going back through all the old episodes. If you want to try it for free for 30 days, go to netflix.com/twit, and you can instantly watch Netflix movies on all of your devices, free for the first month, then $7.99 a month after that, or cancel if you don't like it. Try it free right now. Now, I know most of you are Netflix subscribers, so here's another suggestion or request, if you don't mind. If you like this show and you want to help support it, tell a friend. Netflix.com/twit. Give it a try today. All right, now we're going to get 3 little reviews in here, and then I will give you my headphones reviews. You're watching our product review show before you buy. Let's kick things off with our streaming video engineer, Colin Weir, and an HTC phone.
Hey, this is Colin for TWiT, and today we are taking a look at the HTC Radar 4G. This is a T-Mobile phone. It is running the newest build of Windows Phone Mango, and Mango is an OS that I actually really like. It's built very well. It has great typography. The icons are nice, and they look great on the lovely display on the HTC Radar. Unfortunately, the biggest place it suffers is in the apps department. You have all the big apps available. You can get Twitter, Facebook, Foursquare, TuneIn Radio, Netflix, etc. But some things are just missing. The more fun apps like Square Card Case and other big apps on iPhone and Android just don't have the presence yet on Windows Phone Mango. Hopefully, if more people adopt it, we'll start to see those apps. One of the nice flourishes of the phone is that if you have it on a table and you're on a call, you can just flip it over to turn on speakerphone. It's kind of dampened by the fact that the speakerphone is not very loud or very good, and that's just not acceptable in any phone. The HTC Radar is normally $99 on contract, but also goes on sale for $49.99. At either of those prices, I wouldn't buy the HTC Radar. There's better phones running Windows Phone Mango coming out from Nokia in the near future, and T-Mobile's 4G doesn't offer any advantages. So the HTC Radar 4G on T-Mobile is a don't buy. I'm Colin Weir for TWiT.
Hey, I'm Tom Merritt from TWiT.tv, taking a look at the Griffin Beacon powered by the Digit app. This is similar to the Logitech Harmony Link in that the idea is that it's a hockey puck type device that you put in front of your home entertainment system. By infrared, it's going to control everything there. And then you have an app that you download on your iPhone that lets you control it. Now, this is the only hard part. You have to orient it like it shows in the picture. I'm just going to pop it right here. That seems to be with the G up. That's the way to remember it. There's a little G for Griffin there on the top. And now the next thing I need to do, because I've got the batteries in, so it's on, is I need to pair it with Bluetooth. You can add devices. You can add activities, so watch TV. In fact, let's add another device. I don't have my Xbox in here, and that's what I use for DVDs. So I add a device, Xbox. Oh, there it is, Microsoft Xbox. Ta-da! So let's use the guide. Let's use the watch TV activity. Let's pick, oh, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Want to watch that? Yeah? All right, you press it. It gives you the option to watch. Now, one of the cool things, too, is it'll show you if it's available on YouTube, if it's available on your Roku device. It actually can connect to the Netflix service. You can put in your Netflix account, and it can tell you what's available on Netflix and then take you right to your Roku and add it to your queue from the app. That's pretty cool. But we're going to use the more basic feature here. Press watch. I had to go press watch TV on my own.
Use the mode switch. When you select a direct TV.
All right, there we go. Now it's changing the channel to 501. So we can watch some Harry Potter. I have to say, for $30 cheaper than the Logitech Harmony Link, which does similar things, you get a little more limited functionality in what you can program. It's kind of still the same thing. We have to collect your device information and put it into Digit, but it's such a faster setup. It's not plugged into power, so when your batteries die, it's going to die. You're going to have to replace the batteries. I get that, but it's just a nice package. I'd say buy if you're into this, or at least try if you get a chance to demonstrate one out. I do like the Griffin Beacon. That's it for this review. TWiT.tv. I'm Tom Merritt.
What's up? I'm Jason Howell, and I'm here with TWiT.tv, and I have in my cold hands here the HTC Jetstream. This is HTC's follow-up to the HTC Flyer tablet, their first 10.1-inch tablet, and it was just released not too long ago on AT&T's 4G LTE network. I, unfortunately, don't have LTE or AT&T service on this tablet, so I wasn't able to spend a whole lot of time with the LTE portion of the tablet, but I used it plenty on Wi-Fi, so this is kind of my first take on it. It's a dual-core 1.5 gigahertz Snapdragon processor with 1 gigabyte of RAM, 32 gigs of internal storage that you can swap out. It's a micro SD card in there, and it's running currently Android 3.1 Honeycomb. It's $700 on contract with AT&T. If you want to get it outside of contract, it's $850. And finally, you might notice that I've been doing this review with the HTC Scribe digital pen. It does kind of feel like an afterthought. I guess with a stylus, with a digital pen like this, you kind of want a place to put it, and there's no place to put it. It doesn't come with the tablet. It's an extra cost on top of the accessory. I think it's somewhere like $70 to $80 extra if you want the pen. But when you have it, I mean, it was the problem that I ran into. It was like, okay, well, where do I put it without losing it? And when I want it, it's not there with the tablet. Overall, if I had to choose whether I recommend the HTC Jetstream or not, I'd have to say I probably would not recommend it as a buy. I certainly wouldn't buy it for myself. The cost, the extra cost, isn't justified in my mind. Having said that, if you have a little bit extra money to spend and you're a huge fan of HTC hardware, you might find the justification. So I would recommend you go to AT&T, check out their HTC Jetstream, and see what you think of it. It's certainly a nice piece of hardware. I just wouldn't shell out my hard-earned money for it. I'm Jason Howell with TWiT.tv. Thanks for watching.
It's heavy, you know. That's kind of a heavy tablet. Thank you, Jason, Colin, And Tom Merritt, you can catch Tom, of course, and Jason on TNT every weekday, Monday through Friday, 2:30 p.m. Pacific, with the week's tech news, along with Ayaz Akhtar and Sarah Lane. We just got back from CES. One thing I noticed, it was a real trend. Oh, by the way, the full form of all of those reviews, because all of them are longer than that. We just put little biddies on there. The full-length reviews are all available on our YouTube channel, which, Nicole, is youtube.com/TWiT. Okay, that was tough. So one of the things I noticed at CES is that headphones are everywhere. And it all started with these little guys. These are Beats from Dr. Dre, the famous rap star. Dre's made so much money on his headphones that everybody else wants to get into the business, including, I noticed, Ludacris, another rap star, and 50 Cent has his own headphone line. They're all getting into the headphone game, and I realized there's a reason for that. Everybody purchased iPods, iPhones with those crappy little white earbuds. They fall out of your ear. The sound isn't great, and so there was a real opportunity for aftermarket headphone makers to capture some of this market. The Beats from Monster and Dr. Dre are okay. They do have a much enhanced bass, and I guess if you're listening to hip-hop, that's what you're looking for. But I don't think they're the most accurate headphones out there, and of course they're not the most expensive headphones either. Now, I'm going to show you a couple of pairs of headphones that cost hundreds of dollars, and each has a unique kind of hook. Let's start with the ears, EERS from Sonomax. We saw these last year at CES, and I guess Sonomax decided they needed their own rap star, so Arabian Prince from NWA stopped by with these. Here's the unique thing on these, and actually I really like it. These are custom molded headphones. Now, you've probably seen custom molded headphones on rock and roll stars. Bono wears these Ultimate Ears. I use Ultimate Ears as well, but an Ultimate Ear pair of headphones can cost $1,000, plus they require an appointment with an audiologist. So you go to a hearing aid specialist who will actually make a wax or rubber mold of your ear, who then sends it off to the headphone company and they make the headphones. I think Sonomax has a unique take. Let's watch a little video. You make these yourself. So you put these, they come with this big elaborate plastic thing that you put over your head. You drop a little bit of lubricant on each one of these and you stick them in your ear, and then get ready for this. It's a little scary. In fact, I really thought when we saw these last year that they would never get these on the market. I just thought, these people aren't going to do this, but you know what? You can buy them. In fact, I've seen them at airports and everywhere else. Now, you press a button on the side of these things. Get ready, Leo. It's good looking, isn't it? You press a button on the side of these things, and they inflate into your ear. It's not nearly as weird or a weird feeling as having the audiologist pour silicone rubber into your ear, but you do have to sit still for 5 minutes, and so I had a timer there, and you can't talk, you can't move your mouth. Stop. Nope, don't move your mouth for 5 minutes. In fact, it's recommended that you keep your mouth slightly open, because that will change the shape of your ears a little bit and give the Sonomax inserts a little bit more room. After 5 minutes, you now break off this headset, and you've got to you got to pull it right out of your ear there. And these things have been, you know, they're hardening, believe it or not, in that 5 minutes. And now you have earbuds that only you can wear. In fact, not only can you have to wear them in the right ear. So this is the correct ear, I should say. This goes to the right ear. This goes to the left ear. You can't reverse them. They won't fit in. And when you stick them in, they're very comfortable. They're soft silicone rubber. They don't go too deep into your ear canal, but one thing they do is they seal off your ears so you don't hear any external sounds. Now, a couple of things you should be aware of when that happens. First of all, I wouldn't recommend these for jogging or walking in the park, because you can't hear oncoming traffic. You certainly shouldn't wear them while driving. But they're great in an airplane. If you're one of those people who likes the Bose active noise canceling headphones, you might want to try these, because they don't do any active noise canceling, but by sealing your ears, they seal out all the jet noise, the baby crying in row 2D, even the announcements from the stewardess. These come with a pretty nice little case. that includes an adapter, so you have a phono plug. This is a 3-prong adapter, because here's one other nice thing about these sculpted ears. They have a microphone on them, so they work really great with a phone like the iPhone or an Android phone as not only earbuds, but also as your little phone microphone, so you can make phone calls with it. I found the microphone didn't sound too good. Now, they make 2 models, $200 single driver model and a $300 dual driver model. The dual driver has a driver for the highs and a driver for the lows. Some very expensive headphones have many, many drivers. Dual drivers is enough. I have to say the sound quality on these headphones I thought was quite good. I was very, very pleased with them. Now, I'm no audiophile. In fact, you know, I'm over 40, so, you know, my ears have probably degraded a little bit since I was a kid. But I pay attention to sound. I care a lot about sound, and certainly when I'm listening to music, I want the best sound possible. I listen to a number of different kinds of music: classical, hip-hop, rock and roll, Pink Floyd, and the sound quality was very good. The highs were clear and crisp. The bass was good and rich, and one of the advantages of having an in-ear monitor like this is because the driver is really right next to your eardrum, you get a surprisingly large amount of bass from these little bitty headphones. Comfort-wise, you just can't beat them. They're in your ear, but because they're molded to your ear, you could probably wear them all day. We folks in TV use earbuds like this you've probably seen TV people with the little in-ear monitors. They call them IFBs. They're also molded. They're very comfortable. They often have to wear them for many, many hours at a time, and that's why we get those molded earphones. The Sonomax sculpted ears are pricey. As I said, $200 for the single driver. I'd spend the $300 and get the 2-driver. I have both, and I feel the 2-driver models really sound a lot better. These are worth the price. These are $300 headphones. You get every bit of that sound. They're extra comfortable. I say if you can afford $300 headphones, you're not the kind of person who loses headphones. These are a definite buy. We saw another kind of headphone that was a different take on this all. It's called, from Able Planet, they're Lynx Audio. These are similarly priced, $300 headphones. Really good headphones do cost that much. Don't be put off by the price. These are called the Clear Harmony headphones. And the guy from Able Planet kind of explained it to me thus. He said, we're a headphone, or rather a hearing aid manufacturer, and we learned in the manufacture of hearing aids a patented technology. It's not electronic, it's an acoustic technology that improves the intelligibility of speech. He explained it to me by saying that instead of playing a single note, these headphones will play chords, which without increasing the loudness, increase the perceived loudness, so you can hear better without turning the headphones up. These would be excellent headphones for people who find they start listening louder and louder to headphones. That's one problem, especially with young people. They listen way too loud. They fit over the ear. They're fairly comfortable, very much like the Bose. In fact, that's probably the chief competition, is the Bose active noise-canceling headphones. These are also active noise-canceling. You turn them on, and they have batteries in here. They don't use rechargeables, though. They use single double AAA cell batteries. And here's a nice feature. You only need 2 AA's to make these work. But on the other side, they have a unused case where you can store extra batteries. So if you're going on a long flight, you might want to stock up, get 4 AAA batteries, and load the second set into this other side. If I can get it open, trust me, there's another place for batteries in there. These can be worn wirelessly. It has I believe it has a wireless. Is that right? Let me look here. No, it doesn't have a wireless. Okay, I'm getting confused because I did do some wireless headphones. These are not wireless, so they have a wire that plugs in to the headphone and then into your iPod or your stereo. They have an adapter for both airplane, you know, that dual prong adapter that you see on some older airplane systems, and also a phono plug adapter that you can plug into. The noise cancellation technology works quite well. I found when the noise canceling on, the jet airplane noise or background noise goes away. Of course, it works by inverting the waveforms of the incoming noise, so it works better with a continuous noise like a jet. It doesn't work as well with voices, but that's fine. You want to be able to hear the announcements or your neighbor saying, could you move? So that's fine. It has, and I really like this, on the headphones. It looks like a mic, little mic thing, but it's not. It's a volume control, and you really can increase the volume nicely without damaging your ears. It's an interesting sound, I have to say. If you run out of batteries, it still works, but it's very bassy. The batteries help the high end. I think if you're hearing impaired or you're an older adult like me who has lost the high ends, you might like these headphones. I think they give a very natural sound. They're a little more bassy than I would like. I don't think the sound reproduction is as accurate, but I don't think they're going for accurate sound reproduction. I think they're going for intelligibility, a better listenability at lower levels. And it certainly does this. You really get a good level out of these headphones. At $300, they are pricey, very much like the Sonomax. I don't consider the audio quality as good. I do consider it as good as the Bose, however. So if you're in the market for an active noise-canceling headphone like the Bose, you might want to take a look at these. I think the sound quality is actually better than the Bose. They come with a nice carrying case so that you can take them on the plane just like the Bose do. These are a little bit different. The Clear Harmony active noise-canceling headphones from Able Planet, designed based on hearing aid technology. I think they'd be especially good for people who have lost high-frequency hearing. The sound quality is good, not as good, in my opinion, as the Sonomax. So if you're looking for the most accurate sound reproduction, the Sonomax ears are excellent. There are others I like Etymotics and Grados, which I think are very, very accurate. These are less accurate, but for a certain slice of the market, these would be good. I guess I'd have to give these a try, depending on your tastes in music and your hearing ability. But I think these are unique, and there are some people who will find these the best headphones they've ever used. That's Able Planets and the Clear Harmony. Well, there you go. There's our reviews for this week on Before You Buy. Remember, you can watch the show. We do it live. We're trying to do it live Thursdays, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Next week's going to be a little cuckoo because we've got Macworld Expo. And then I'm going off the following week to show some of these very same products to Kelly Ripa on Live with Kelly. I'll be doing that February 3rd. I'm going to be on the air. That's a Friday. So Tom Merritt's going to take the next two Before You Buys. I will be on, though, because I want to review this HTZ Resound for Verizon. So I think I'll be on in a couple of weeks with that review. And then I'll be back in studio on February 10th. Actually, we'll do it February 9th here at the TWiT Brick House. All of the shows are available on YouTube, or you can subscribe, and I encourage you to do so. Watch the video, because then you get to see the products. We'll put those on iTunes, the Zune Marketplace, and everywhere you can get better podcasts. Thanks to our producer. Nicole Lee is so great. I'm so glad we got her. She's just the queen of products. You probably saw her at her... You got a dress shop. That's cool. A little dress shop down in Petaluma. And Tony Wang's reviews. Thanks to our reviewers as well, to Tony Wang, Jason Howell, Tom Merritt, and Colin Weir. They all did a great job. We'll be back next week with another Before You Buy. Take care.